hope you guys don't miss your deadlines since that game took so long. But a couple things I want to speak about, and obviously you guys ask, I'll answer. I don't avoid questions, but I'd rather speak about the game and not other stuff. First of all, to Macklemore, it's unfortunate. Unbelievable kid. I don't know him very well, but numerous people I know that know him. I know their coaching staff. Unbelievable young man. God bless him, and he'll be okay. And it's real frustrating as a coach when you see somebody go through something like that. And then number two, the obvious situation with Corey. He's the last 2 years he's been battling that injury thing, 18 months or so to be exact, and he's in a frustrated place as an athlete. A good place as a human being. He's in a frustrated place as an athlete because he can't get his body to respond. And but he's catching his breath right now is what he's doing. So whenever we find out what his next step is, obviously Emily and I will let you guys know.
Coach Martin, how do you plan on taking this momentum from beating the #1 team in the conference and plan on taking that move forward and using it when you play Georgia coming up?
Yeah, I tried to tell the guys after the game, it's we've been so close here in the last 3 weeks, and whether it's the home game against Texas Tech or the home game against Mississippi State, or even the game at Arkansas, we're like right there with 10 minutes to go, and haven't been able to close those games out. And when you lose at home, then you're putting yourself in a tough place where now losing streaks exist, and losing streaks challenge the fabric, the spirit of your team, especially when you're young like we are. So we fought Tennessee. We went in, a week ago today. I'm not going to tell you it's the worst I've ever felt as a head coach, but I was pretty down. I went home. I had friends in town and family, and they were around, which kept my spirits up Saturday night. But eventually everyone leaves, and now it's just me, the bed, and the ceiling. And Saturday night was a real frustrating place for me as a basketball coach. Sunday wasn't much better. But like everything else, the sun came up. Our guys, for the most part, have tried this year. Doesn't mean we've done stuff right, but they've tried. And we went and fought Tennessee. And I think that made us feel good about ourselves again. And obviously come out today, and we got lucky in the first half. Brown missed some threes. But the one thing that we did is we had an aggression on defense that was good. We got to embrace this moment. And the last 6 games been difficult. Hopefully we can embrace this moment and feel good. We'll worry about Georgia on Monday. Those kids deserve an opportunity to just feel good about beating a good team here today.
Frank, you've mentioned before that a lot of it's all about matchups. Just how good did you feel about your height advantage when coming into this game?
That's you offset three-point shooting teams with size. And our on-ball defense today is probably the best it's been in a while. Across the board, not just point guards. But I thought Wes and Hassani did as good a job as they've done in a long time at attacking the point guard on the half-court line and not retreating, like saying, no, we're here and we're going to stay here, which then allows the defense behind it to get aggressive. They're a hard guard, man. They're a hard guard. There's a reason they lead the league in almost every offensive category, and they're old. Biggest difference for me, first half, second half defensively, we still guarded them in the second half, but we wouldn't get a rebound. And I think they had 17 offensive rebounds in the second half, 16, 17. Couldn't get a rebound. So that gave them extra possessions. That put them on the foul line. They're too good an offensive team that when they miss, to not get a defensive rebound. You have to figure that out. But the part of the problem is that they got so many three-point shooters that they're dragging your players outside the three-point line, and then they attack you off the bounce. They can pass the ball. So now you have to be prepared to rotate. And what happened is they were driving. They're a very unselfish team. So they see help coming, they pass. They don't hold the ball, they pass it. So now we're put on rotations, and that guy shoots threes, long rebounds. And the mistake our guys were making is when they got sucked in, now you're standing near the rim, and when they miss those long shots, it's a long rebound, and our guys are standing there, and they're coming at us. And we call it first blood, which is the contact that takes place in a rebound. We never committed first blood. We always took the hit. We never gave the hit. So when we took the hit, we ended up even deeper, and they're athletic and good. So, we switched stuff around in the first half. But the end of the bottom line was we were able to offset the three-point shooting. They missed some. They're good, unbelievable shooting team. We got lucky they missed some. But then we got some stuff from Mike in the second half. In the first half, we got Cut and Felipe helping us with size at the rim. We just got to learn how to do that more consistently from those spots for 40 minutes.
Coach, Chris kind of talked about it with yesterday's practice, with the energy, with Dozier coming back, Sin and all those guys. How much can you credit yesterday's practice for just the start of today? I know it's not just one thing that can, make things, go going from the way everything was with those 6-game losing streak, but how much can you credit yesterday's practice?
Yeah, I don't know how much Chris told you, but I wasn't very chipper in practice yesterday. I've been in very foul mood, and having those guys around allowed our team to understand, like, the more you talk as a team to help each other, the less Frank yells. The quieter you get as a team, the more Frank yells. And when I talk to you about leadership, that's what I'm talking about. Those guys uplifted our team. All those young guys signed up to come to school here because they saw those guys play, and they wanted to be a part of what those guys built. Having them around picked up everyone's spirit, and it made, like, I'm gonna give you an example. Practice was over, and we had guys go straight to the locker room. Practice ended. And I'm sitting at the scores table talking to the media people. And PJ, you got to understand, one's played, I told the team this, one's played 58 games, the other one's played 9 games. Dwayne is in the process of taking another job after playing who knows how many games overseas. So as soon as practice ended, those 3 guys, they got together and they did what they used to do. They went and they got shots. And Justin Minaya was kind of standing on the half-court line watching, and we had 2 guys shooting fadeaway shots on one side. Frank Booker went and sat down, and he was kind of watching like, well, those guys just practiced 2 hours, and now they're in there. So Booker ended up joining them to shoot balls. How about that? He made shots today. And he joins them to go shoot balls. And they shot for 45 minutes. I called Justin over. And Justin was kind of just standing there trying to figure out, should I go over here with these guys taking these crazy shots, or should I kind of do what those guys are doing over there? And I called Justin over. When I talk about leadership, we don't have it. Justin, come here. I said, I just want you to understand, Justin, when I talk about leadership, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's how good players play. And he kind of nodded his head. He said, for the first time all year, I understand what you've been talking about. That was a powerful moment for him. I hope it helps our team. And I hope we can forget winning. I'm not into that. I've told you, I like to win. I don't like to lose. And when I lose, I'm a miserable human being. But I'm about getting better. I'm about doing things the right way. I hope this helps us learn how to improve our leadership and continue to get better as a basketball team.
Bruce kind of said it before you were in here. He said, they're good enough to beat any team in the league, but they're also good enough to have teams beat them, or other teams in the league are good enough to beat them as well. Mm-hmm. How much of an encouragement is it for your team to know that, hey, you go in and beat the top team in the league, and when things break your way on a given day, those kind of things happen?
If you ranked league schedules, like within the SEC, I'm pretty sure we got the toughest league schedule. Got home and home with the first place team, home and home with the second place team, home and home with the third place team. Who else has that? I'm pretty sure that's the deal. I don't know who else has a harder schedule than us as far as the league teams go, which when you're trying to figure your team out, stuff like that happens. our guys, they've learned that when we play a certain way, we can line up and beat anyone in this league. But this league is very hard. We need to stay humble about the fact that we won a game and we're coming off a 6-game losing streak, and not be wrapped up about we've arrived, we got this figured out. We got to stay humble to taking care of our bodies tomorrow. Practices have been pretty hard to get us to understand how we need to play again. I don't want to say refix, I don't know, that's probably a bad word, but we slipped defensively over the last, we started slipping towards the end of, before the losing streak, and when you start losing, it slips even more. We're trying to fix our defense again. And so, Monday, I'll be my chipper self again, and we'll see what happens.
Frank, that stretch there, I guess maybe about 5.5 minutes, it seemed like you guys had the ball for about 90 seconds there. You kept getting the ball back. Guys were hitting the floor, freeing the ball up and grabbing it. I mean, in a season which has had some frustrating moments, that's got to be a positive sign that these guys are out there playing that way, towards the end of February.
Pete, I'm going to make a joke out of something that's real. And that's why I came in here. I said, I'm glad they played patty cake in their team meeting. I'm glad that they had a kumbaya, and I'm glad they got on their page. I got news for them. They better get on my page. And they want to win. They don't know how. Since last Saturday, our demeanor, our approach has been completely different. And we're starting to pay attention again to our identity. And that play was fun. I live for moments like that. Kids just being relentless, attacking a ball. I stunk as a player. I couldn't play dead. But if you didn't have the ball, if the ball's in the air on the ground, I was coming up with the ball. I don't care who was going out, but I'm coming up with the ball. And I just want my teams to play that way. And we finally did that. You think about our team last year, Thornwell will come up with every loose ball. And we've been trying to find that.
Frank, obviously finishing games has been an issue for you throughout the year, particularly in SEC play. What one or two things do you think that you saw that really stood out down the stretch? I think you made your last 7 free throws in the last minute. Was that a part of it? I mean, what things were you looking at during that final stretch that you didn't see in other games?
Well, Frank Booker gets an offensive rebound putback. We get it to the end of the clock, and Hassani must think he was in high school again playing with no shot clock. I don't know what he was thinking about, and there's a timeout, and we grilled him in the timeout. Like, this is your 4th year out of high school, man. How do you not have a feel for what the time is? And then the next time we got in the same situation, what did he do? He didn't panic. He found Chris, and he threw it in there, and Chris scores. So it's about learning the plays that need to be made through the identity of your team. And Chris is our identity. If you look back when the lead went from whatever to 6, guess who was my assistant coach? Chris Silva. And because the lead was so big, I was not going to let him pick up his 4th foul. So I kind of milked that for as long as I could. And then all of a sudden he goes in, and now the bleeding stops, and now we're able to score again. So, but it's good to see. I got frustrated one time out late. They're in their zone, full court press, and our 2 point guards just stood. They didn't get open. They just stood there. I'm like, what are you doing? You dance side to side all you want. You got to get open. But then we finally got open, and Book made free throws, and that was good.
Jason Cudd ends up being kind of one of your first guys off the bench in the first half. Does that reflect a strong few days of practice or something else?
It's funny. It's like in the first half, Kotsar gave us nothing. And Felipe and Cudd gave us, back to the question about size, to offset smaller players. Felipe and Cudd gave us size at the rim, so we were able to score over smaller players. We were able to get a couple offensive rebounds. Then in the second half, neither one played nearly as well, But Coates started to give us something, scoring balls near the rim over smaller players and being more aggressive and more assertive. But Cud spent, I don't know how long we practiced for yesterday, but like 10 minutes, yeah, I don't know how long we were at practice, but like 10 minutes into practice, I'm looking around, where's Cud? It was his birthday too. Like, where's Cud? And I turn around, he's sitting on the baseline, he's got his head inside a trash can, puking his brains out. I've been there before, I get it. He puked for over an hour. I finally went over, I said, I've never in my life have I seen somebody puke for an hour straight. I mean, can you like get back in practice, wipe your mouth, and you know, it's crazy. He got up and finished the last 20 minutes of practice. And I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And for a young kid, they went out there and played that way today. You know, it's he's going to be a real good player. He's got pride. He lets you coach him. He's just trying to adapt to the speed of college basketball. Thank you.